Welcome to another Founder Wisdom Pod. We have Barry Coziahr with us today. Barry is CEO, founder at Stampede Branding. He's also the owner of Team Builders agencies, and he's been a branding and business development expert for the last 35 years. Barry, can you tell us a bit more about yourself and what you're up to nowadays?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I've got a couple companies. I've got. I mean, I guess I'll start with me. I mean, I'm here in the Midwest, or I'm from the Midwest. I live in Clearwater, Florida now. I've had, I guess, a long career of. Started working in marketing for my dad, like basically oh wow, I guess it was like well over 30 years ago. Um, and that kind of tells you how old I am. When I was right around 20, and so I've been working in marketing ever since. Worked in the publishing arena, the nonprofit arena. Worked for nonprofits for many years. I've had my own marketing company for about 20 years, and I also, we evolved and created a virtual assistant agency to help people with remote personnel as well. And that's what I do now. I've got a couple different companies. I've got a marketing company. I've got my virtual assistant agency, and then my wife is a full-time author. She writes Regency historical romance, and she does great with her books. And so we end up helping a lot of authors with their books as well. And yeah, that's us.
What's Regency Romans?
Regency is based on a time period called the Regency period, which is the early 1800s in England. And yeah, so it's a time period. And yeah, yeah, it's basically based on the fact that there was a prince who his dad was still around, and he was the regent prince, meaning he was the ruling prince. So it's early 1800s England. It's a very popular time period for romance. It's Pride and Prejudice, if you know that novel, or anything by Jane Austen is from that time period as well.
Right. And who's the audience for that?
Um, the the audience for it is definitely like it's you've got basically, wow. I mean, it would be, I mean, females, obviously, in majority. I guess there's a slightly older audience quite often, but there are also some younger readers. So women who like to read a lot, you know.
And which is your most successful company right now? Which one is grossing the most?
My virtual assistant agency. I'm doing really well with that. We help people with pretty high quality virtual assistants, helping them to you know, basically put high quality personnel in place to help them to grow their business. We got people that are college educated. They speak great English. They're heavily vetted. We're big on vetting and testing people. To make sure that we have a high quality person there. And yeah, that's what we do.
Right. And have you tested them against AIs, for example? Because I use ChatGPT pretty much every time to solve 95% of my problems nowadays that a VA historically would have done. So what's the use of a VA nowadays if you have ChatGPT, Gemini, and
Yeah,
Claude?
I mean, a VA should use AI. So we have our VAs get familiar with AI so they could take over. There's a lot of tasks that a lot of entrepreneurs can. There's a principle called the 80/20 principle, which is you might be familiar with it. It's uh, uh, I don't know if you are or not, but basically it talks into how 80% of the results come from about 20% of your efforts. So, and a lot of times it's like a lot of the work is done by in a business is done by about 20% of the people, right? And those people that are doing a large amounts of the work, they deserve support. And so you could take those other tasks that you shouldn't be doing and give them to a VA and have them help you And even VAs can be trained in automation, trained or are already trained in many cases in in uh, in those systems, right? Uh, AI systems, right? And so yeah, it can be great. It can be absolutely great to do to set up a VA to actually help people with that.
Right. Yeah, my experience with VAs and just with normal team members have always been really, really limited. And before we started the pod, I told you about, yeah, I can send my Calendly to my VA, but like what I get in reply is like, hey, can we book a time at 2? And the results just like time loss for pretty much everyone. But yeah, I think that high quality VAs that use AI can be good. And I believe in like one specific niche, right? So I read that you were in lead gen in your LinkedIn profile. What kind of lead gen do you have going right now for you and your own clients?
We do a lot with LinkedIn. We do LinkedIn outreach, and we also do cold email. Uh, we do a lot with Facebook advertising. Uh, we're setting up automation systems and go high level. We do all those things, SEO, uh, everything. Yeah, we
And
got
how
we had a team of about 30 people uh, that all specialists that run those different areas.
right? And how many leads per week do you get?
Me personally,
Yes,
or for me, I have I get probably about 15 or 20 appointments. I get a lot of leads and interest, but I do about 15 or 20 appointments currently. Is what
per
I
week,
per week.
and a close rate of 20 to 30%, I would guess.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Okay. And how much do you charge for your services? Like, let's say that I would buy a VA from you. Like, what would you charge for them?
Um, Well, and I'm talking about both the leads I get are for both my virtual assistant agency and my marketing company. That's the ones I personally see, and then and then I charge for my virtual assistants right around $10 an hour, and we hire them out for 20. People pay us monthly for the virtual assistant service, and we hire them out for 20, 40 hours a week. It varies.
And what are you buying right now?
Sorry.
What are you buying right now?
What am I buying right now?
Yeah,
What do you mean?
you have your credit card in hand and you're typing.
I was typing in something. I was sending somebody some information on it. I was actually paying my staff.
Right. What's been the challenge in running that type of company?
The challenge in running that type of company has been the virtual assistant or the marketing company.
Everything.
Okay. Well, I think the same thing that you expressed. It's like personnel can be a huge challenge. It's a big deal, to have high quality people in place, and yeah, not just putting good people in place, but actually training them, making sure that you've actually got, uh, that the people that you're putting in place are are trained, they know what they're doing. There's SOPs created for them so that they can actually do what they need to be doing. Um, yeah, that there's reporting so that you know that the tasks are getting done. But it's kind of like you got to do that work too, because if you want to expand, I mean, automation and what you do is fantastic. I also we actually help people with AI agents as well, and with AI systems. We do custom GPTs. Those are all awesome, right? Those help a lot, and they do get a lot of work done. And so, if you can couple that with a person who's actually qualified and a good quality person, that's pretty amazing.
Right. I did SOPs as well with my old team. I think I was at the stage of creating a GPT to actually train them back then. But if you're going to have a GPT train a human, what's the use of the human at the end of the day? Like it means that the human's probably not smart enough to train themselves, and there's too much hand holding. And yet, the time was a huge issue because the margins are high when you hire semi-competent people from abroad, but the time involvement and the frustration is just humongous.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I agree. I mean, it's if you hiring semi-competent people is not very good, and a lot of the people that we bring on already have a bunch of skills in place. So then, they can get, they should be able to use it. You know, and we can give them a course or they may have some. We may want to augment their skills. Um, yeah, so we might want to give them some training. So we found some great training facilities that we can use to help people as well, to become even better, higher quality people.
And how do you filter them? I was using psychometrics back then and some GPTs, I think, to filter them out. Like, how are you hiring your people?
We do a similar thing. We basically we have personality, IQ, and aptitude testing that we provide for people. So personality measures, a lot of different traits, stability, communication level, how aggressive they are, all those different things.
Do
Uh,
you want them aggressive?
I mean, in a good way, we want them going after tasks, not sitting around waiting for somebody to tell them what to do, but rather,
Yeah,
actively.
self-starters.
Yeah, self-starters. So aggressive in that way, if that makes sense.
It
Uh,
does. I
yeah.
was hiring them aggressive as well. My best employees were actually aggressive. They did cause a bit of problem on the EQ side of things, but they were the best performers. They were the ones generating the most leads back then.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, so that I mean, obviously, like for a lead generator, you want somebody who's aggressive, who's going to go after things, not sitting around and waiting, right? Because sitting around and waiting is not very good. It's not very helpful. So it's you want somebody who's going after it. We also don't want people that just you know their response is to somebody says no, you don't want them to just go away. By the way, my wife was a sales coach prior to her um, doing
The
becoming
book thing.
becoming an author full time. She worked at a Inc. 500 company, and so we work a lot. Even coaching my not well. I mean, obviously, I use all that I've learned about from working with her and helping her with sales coaching and learning from her as a sales coach and we've learned a lot together as she grew in that career and I grew in this one. But we use it with our VAs and with our lead generation people, and we use it with our, I actually had a couple conversations yesterday with clients who are getting leads who needed some tips on sales. And so we gave some great tips that would help them to, you know, make the most of the leads that they're getting.
Right. And the books, does she or you write them with AI? Like, have you tried that to actually publish books?
Uh, she doesn't, she basically would like, um, AI can help, but I wouldn't use it to write a book. You know what I mean?
I would use it to write a book. I have a company called bookwritegt.com, and we do exactly that. And every night I read a story written by ChatGPT, and it's very much Pulitzer level. It's better than like 99.9% of authors. And yeah, for speed as well, it's just that you need to cobble up a couple of softwares together. You can write to ChatGPT to write it chapter by chapter, and you need to be prompted right. So created a tool for that called bookwritegt.com that has AI write you Kindle books in like minutes. So it's pretty fun. Do you use AI for your own sales for the cold outbound that you're sending?
Um, I have used it. I mean, I also edit it myself to make sure it's got like my what I have to say in there as well.
Yeah, it's all about like prompting it well, and I would try to give.
Prompting it well, and then I think doing some editing, here and there to make sure that it's that it's that's really good. I mean, I think that's important, to make
Yeah,
sure well edited.
yeah, and editing the prompts, right? Like so that it can restart the right way, not just the output. I think that would be one tip. And then once it's well prompted, one thing that I've found is that we humans sometimes tell it to correct this or correct that, but in the end, the AI was right. when it's really well prompted, like that's what I've seen, and that's another sign that, yeah, we're being replaced by AIs. Is that sometimes I prompt it, I get the results, and I'm like, hey, I don't like that, and then
Right.
he rewrites it. But then it's like it's not good. It's worse than the first outcome. So usually the AI is right, and that's such a an interesting but scary things. Do you think that AIs will replace most of the workforce in a couple of decades?
Uh, I don't. I mean, I think that things will shift. I think people who, I mean, I don't think AI is going to replace people. I mean, it might, people who can use AI will replace a number of people. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure the world's going to shift and change as a result of those systems. But I think that they'll become, there'll be new work for others. I mean, obviously, there's going to be, yeah, a way for. I actually don't know exactly how it's going to all roll out, but I think that we'll find a way for people to still make a living and survive, and you know,
Yeah, the most creative and innovative humans. But right now, I think most people think that AI is a chat GPT, right? It's like an assistant.
mhm,
But this year in Q3, Q4, we're about to see the agentic revolution, which is a copy of Barry, which is a copy of Charles. And this thing is fully agentic. So, meaning that it can take action on your behalf and it will work while you sleep.
mm,
So then the question is not like people using AI or not. That's missing the point entirely. It's just we'll have clones of us that are 1,000 times faster, more intelligent. They learn faster. They build faster. They're interconnected in a group of APIs. So yeah, by then I think that the job market's gonna take a hit. It's not even about using AI at this point. It's people that are programming agents. I think people that will survive in that revolution will be one entrepreneurs, right? There won't be like jobs in the end.
yeah,
And if you're an entrepreneur or a freelancer, you're gonna have an army of agents under you. So everyone's gonna have their own army of agents, and that's gonna fundamentally change the role of the human. You've possibly seen it right now. We're more like off orchestrators nowadays, so we orchestrate the work between many tools, right? We're connector because AIs don't understand fundamentally what this reality is. Soon will, because they're gonna film our browsers and gonna mimic our actions pretty soon. I'm building a tool for that, but I think orchestrators also we're gonna double down on our human skills, right? Intuition, our brain's a pretty amazing device in the end. It's like
mm,
super energy efficient, and we can get insights in microseconds, right? AI too, but yeah, I still feel we have this human superpower. What do you think is a human superpower that we have against AIs?
uh, well, we can build AIs, and I guess that's the. I mean, I guess
AIs can build AIs too.
yeah, that's true. So, I mean, I'm sure um, you know a lot more about AI than I do. So,
Right.
I can have, I have, um, I guess ethics. AI has a hard time understanding ethics, from what I've seen. Integrity and being true to things and being loyal. I mean, it's only as loyal as its programmer, and it's only at the ethics level of its programmer. It's at the, you know, uh, yeah. So that would be a big difference between people and machines.
I think very few humans understand ethics too as well. I think they're very subjective too, because loyalty might be very bad in some case, like staying loyal to an abusive husband, for example.
Sure,
And yeah, then
it's a
there's always
confusing, it's a confusing subject, but for a lot of people, I would agree. There are a lot of people that have issues with that as well.
right. But if you mean like the heart and emotional part, I think we can also teach that to an AI, but the AI will never really feel on the short term
Right.
until it sort of merges with us and understands us quicker. But yeah, I think humans are great. For example, yesterday talking about the stories written by GPT, right? There was one about social workers. Social workers that, for example, instead of there's a domestic violence event at a house, instead of calling the police, they send in a social worker that is with peace vibes and has compassion and heart. And instead of leading to an arrest, that it leads to conflict resolution, right? Will an AI get there? I don't think in the next 50 to 100 years, right? We need to crack robotics. We need to crack empathy. And yeah, empathy is a very human thing, because even if it's an AI and the human is like, knows that it's an AI, it's like, yeah, you're not human. You don't feel what I feel, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
what's next for you? What are your top goals for this year, Barry? What do you want to achieve?
I mean, what I'd like to, I mean, I'd love to 10x the size of my business. You know, I'm sure everybody's got some similar growth goal like that. I'm actually looking to open some niche agencies where we go after specific niche markets for our marketing services, as well as some of our virtual assistant services or outsourced personnel service. I guess remote workers might be a better, you know, we're basically dealing remote personnel, people that work not at your place, but they work somewhere else. So we've got a couple different markets for that we're going after, and yeah, that's part of the goals. I mean, I've got some personal goals too that are um, tied to education and improving myself, and yeah, there you go. That's me in a nutshell.
And the 10x goal, how will you achieve it precisely? Because 10x is insane, you know, it's pretty ludicrous depending on what level you are. I mean, if you're at 10K MRR and you want to scale to 100K MRR, sort of realistic, but even very hard. So what's your plan? Your execution plan needs to be as extreme as your goal, right?
Yes, that's right. You know, and you know, but also it's like I'm setting that goal and then coming up with an execution plan for it. Um, yeah, opening the niche agencies is part of that execution goal, and then obviously, you know, you want to aim for the. There's somebody that said, you know, you want to aim for the stars, and at least then you'll land on the moon, right? So you got to shoot higher than where you actually, you know, you got to shoot high, you know, basically is the whole concept. And so yeah, that's what we want to do.
Yeah, and the niche idea is good. It has always worked. I've done it extensively in the past 10 years. One tip for the audience and maybe yourself to build quick landing page, there's a tool called lovable.dev. You just prompt an AI to create content, and you can have ChatGPT create the content for that page. You drop it to Lovable, and next thing you know, you have a website in that niche, right?
Oh
So
wow.
last weekend I created antgtm.com, which is GTM for Antler Founders. I created stargtm.com, which is for Techstars founders. So yeah, it's quite efficient. And yeah, you create a specific Calendly, a specific cold email for that one, and there you go. You have a niche funnel that works pretty well. So Barry, thank you for today. Where can people find out more about you?
They can actually. One of the things is I have an ebook that you could share with people. Uh, you know that well, actually, if they just want to reach out to Barry at stampedebranding.com, that'd be great. Barry at stampedebranding.com. If you saw this, you want to talk a little bit more about any of the things that I brought up, or talk about virtual assistant or what have you, uh, yeah, please reach out.
So that was Barry and Charles for another Founder Wisdom.